श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। My salutations at the holy feet of Papa Ramdas ji, Mataji, Swami Sachidananda ji, at this great shrine of theirs. And also my salutations and pranams to Puja Swami Muktananda ji and other monks who are assembled here, and also to all of you devotees of ANANDASHRAM, devotees of Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, my pranams to everyone. Now, this program is being organized in conjunction with Puja Swamiji's 80th birthday. I don't know whether he would like me to mention that, because warding it off is, without any celebrations, that is what he wishes. But still, by way of context mentioning, I should do it. Now, at this moment, along with all of you, with the grace and blessings of Papa, let me wish him Ayur Arogya Saukhyam. You know, this Ayuhu, Arogyam and Saukhyam, Ayu is decided by God alone. And Saukhyam, he has it already, because he is already an embodiment of Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Then health. Health, you know, mainly relates to the body, physical body. And 80th year also relates to the physical body. The body, you know, Sharira. The definition of Sharira is Shiryamana Swabhavatvat Sharira. It keeps perishing. It is in nature, it is in character with the body that it keeps perishing, bearing and tearing. So, and idam shariram khalu dharma sadhanam. Therefore, whatever we are endowed with, we have to keep the body in good shape. To the extent possible. There are also limitations are there. Okay. Now, I was wondering what to talk about. Then I settled on one topic, that is the glory, the significance, the deeper significance of the mantra Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. You know, my association with this ashram is from the year probably 1975 or 76. The first time I visited this ashram, because my first posting after the Brahmachari's course was in 1975. I was posted to Kasaragod, but I could stay here only about 2 years. Then I was shifted to Port Blair. So in 1975-76, for the first time I visited. And then again I was back in 1989 to Kasaragod, back to base. And then I became a frequent visitor to ANANDASHRAM. Do you know why I am visiting? Like every one of you, I am also a patient. You may not admit it. I am a patient myself. What is a patient? What is the disease? Samsara roga. Nothing short of it. Samsara roga. And if you come here, our physical ailments, something or the other, everybody will have. But main disease is samsara roga. And when you come here, you get a prescription and also a capsule. And that is a panacea for this. Panacea means sarva roga samhari. All mental and spiritual worries are addressed or cured or relieved by this panacea, which is, as all of you know, the great mantra Papa has given us, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. It's not figuratively I am speaking, this is, but you know, Papa's literature throughout, you find this echoed everywhere, without any exception whatsoever. And just a few minutes before, when I was in Swamiji's kutia, he was saying, here there is no other rituals or rites, nothing. Here the main thing is the mantra japa, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Now I shall, you know the significance of it, because you must have, all of you, deeply experienced it, its impact, its efficacy, everything. But I shall share with you, maybe by way of reminder or a repetition, whatever. This Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. What does it Om mean? Many of you know Om. Om is Pranava. But what does it mean? Om is constituted of 3 sounds or letters. Akara, Ukara, Makara. So it is a Samyuktakshar, a compound letter. And what does A means? A, U, M. It has so many, what you call triplets or tripartite principle, threes. It can be the 3 states, waking, dream, deep sleep, Jagrata Avastha, Supna Avastha, Sushupti Avastha, or it can be the 3 bodies, Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira, or it can be Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. There are so many 3 samsara there. You can take it, but that answers the question. See, that is how he saw it. Not just seeing, he experienced it, he realized it, and he lived every moment in that vision, identifying himself with the entire world, both the physical world, the subtle world. So there is nothing apart from me. Hmm? That means the Paramatma, there is nothing apart from the Paramatma. So this is Ram. Hmm? Not the Ram in Ayodhya or elsewhere. In our neighborhood also there is Ram. Hmm? Ram Mandir is there. But that Ram, of course, the temple is there, that's okay. That is Sakara Rupa. But then real Ram is within ourselves. And what about Sri? Sri is also there, no? Sri Ram, Jai Ram. Sri means Sitaji. Sri is Sitaji. Sitaji means what? Lakshmi's avatar. Lakshmi means what? See, in the Srishti Samhara, Brahma is the Srashta, creator, and Vishnu is the protector, and Shiva is the destroyer. We have to understand the right perspective, destroyer when we say. Why should we worship some destroyer? A question would arise, especially young people when we address, they ask, okay, you may worship Brahma, but Brahma has very few temples in our country. And Vishnu, hundreds and hundreds of temples. Shiva also. Why should we worship Shiva? This is a very beautiful question. When youngsters ask, some people get, hey, what is this? They get flabbergasted. Such a question is blasphemy. No, it is not blasphemy. Question is very legitimate, very reasonable. We can worship a protector. But why should we protect a destroyer? Question is relevant, is it not? This question is answered by our acharyas. You know what does it mean? When we were born, how were we? We were babies, babies, not in this particular shape. We didn't emerge from somewhere, no. We were babies, every one of us, no exception. Right? And then we grew into what you call balak, a child, then a boy, then youth, then middle age, adult, middle age, then old man. This is the thing. Now, how does this Shiva work? Hara Hara Mahadev. So how does Hara works, Shiva works? See, the babyhood is destroyed and the childhood is born. Childhood gets destroyed. The boyhood is born. Boyhood gets destroyed. And then youth is born. See, this Srishti Sthiti Samhara Prakriya, the process of this Srishti Sthiti and Samhara, it is happening continuously. Anusyutata is there. Supposing Shiva stops his or suspends his operation, where would we be? What would happen? The baby remains the baby. We would still have been a toddlers and sitting in mother's lap. But mother would get aged, Now, point is, these are all symbolic forms of worship. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Now, the point we are driving at is, for Brahma to create, he cannot do it without his missus. Who is his missus? Saraswati. Because to create anything, there should be knowledge and skill. Is it not true? There should be knowledge and skill for the creation of anything. For any purposeful creation, there should be the operation of knowledge and skill. And Saraswati provides it. So, Saraswati is wedded to Brahma. Lakshmi, how can Mahavishnu protect everyone if the finances are not there? So, Lakshmi is support to Mahavishnu. Lakshmi is wedded to Mahavishnu for the department of sustenance. And Shiva is supported by Durga or Parvati, destruction. She supports her. See, this is how our deities, this Trinity, the Trimurtis are all, we say, oh, it is what you call mere Sankalpa. See, there is a meaning. It may be Sankalpa, but in our Rishi's Sankalpa, it was all meaningful. In the world, there are chaos and cosmos. These are two words, cosmos and chaos. Chaos means total disorder, disarray. Cosmos means everything is in perfect order. What God has created, everything is in perfect order. But where the man has laid his hands on, there is chaos, invariably. I don't have to explain, you know it well. So nature, in nature there is cosmos, or it is a part of the cosmos. But where man interferes, intervenes, and he makes a mess, why should we mention Sitaji's name? Because we want so many things in life, right? We want so many things. It's not only that straight away you are getting skyrocketed to God. We have so many desires, worldly desires. See, my family, my wife, my children, my parents, my relatives, my bank balance, my property, everything is required. So, Sitaji represents all this. Means Lakshmi's avatar is Sita. So this is very, very meaningful, how orderly, how meaningful, how rational, how logical is the creation. This is all given by our Rishis, our Upanishads, our Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, all these are echoing these things only. There is nothing like, some leaders said, Ganapati is a myth. So once that gentleman, I had the occasion to share the stage with him. So he gave a beautiful speech on our Samskar Hindu Dharma. I told him, see, sir, I had refuted your statement. I had argued against it. I had proved that it is not a myth. Ganapati is not a myth. Ganapati is a reality. And he said, media did not understand what I said. Or they twisted it, they distorted it. And also he added, Swami, I am the one, he is a Muslim, our speaker, honorable speaker. I am the one who contributes so much to Ganapati Bhagavan. And he said that. Anyway, that is beside the point. Now, Sitaji is always with the Rama. So we want, Sitaji also, our bhautika desires, our worldly desires. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Now, we say this mantra. And there are different levels, mantra also. Some people mechanically chant it. Is there, how is the benefit? Mechanical, not chanting is, of course that is there, but chanting something, even if it is mechanically, that is better than no chanting at all. Okay. But most effective chanting is mindful chanting. Mindful chanting means when the chanting takes place, whether it is with the sound or without sound, mentally, if the mind's presence is there, that is very effective chanting. Meaning, when you utter the mantra, Om Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, the mind should be present. Mind should be alive to the mantra. But generally what happens, after some time, we go mechanical. Without being known by us, we go mechanical. But if the mantra is to be effective when we chant it, then It has to be mindful chanting. Mindful chanting, you understand? Mind should be there. The presence of mind should be there. We will be thinking about something else, and Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. But Ramakrishnan wanted to come meet me yesterday, but he didn't come. A different thought comes. So it is gone. Then we are after Ramakrishna, that gentleman. See, this is how mind deviates. It wanders away. It loafs around. So this loitering mind should be stemmed, it should be arrested. Then only the chanting becomes more and more and more effective. You see, Papa Ramdas, how did he realize the truth? How did he acquire this vision? See, it is the impact of this chanting, but mindful chanting. The presence of mind was full and absolute. Once some devotee asked him, Papa, how to make this chanting effective, how to attain your state? He said, how to attain God? He said, you desire Him, you want Him intensely, but not as one of the other many things, but above everything. Above everything you want Sri Ram, then Sri Ram will come. In the form of formlessness, in the form of our own self, He will appear. So, the truth that Papa realized and lived, he was a very, very practical person. Very, very practical person. Pragmatic. Because he was involved in many vyavahars with ashram. Running an ashram is a vyavahar, no? When the great Mahatmas. But nothing was ever to disturb him. Nothing would disturb. But when the situation demands the action that needs to be taken, he wouldn't mind taking. I heard another, this is not from my reading, one Sanskrit Pandit from Chennai. He was delivering a lecture in Sanskritam. So I listened to him and he was quoting Papa, ANANDASHRAM Papa. I think one Sri Ram, I think, in Chennai. So he said, there was a Mahatma named Papa Ramdas in ANANDASHRAM, which is internationally known to devotees. Even in those days, many sannyasins used to visit this ashram. So many of them. And Mataji was there, and Papa had given all instructions that all the Mahatmas, all the devotees should be taken good care of. And they used to get all care and what you call, all conveniences. One Mahatma came, sannyasin, should I call him Mahatma, I don't know. One sannyasin came, he was very fond of puja, and he wanted so many things, all paraphernalia, all tools. He would demand everything. And Papa instructed everyone that give whatever he wants, you make arrangements for him. And he had elaborate this ritual, puja, daily. And ashram was making all arrangements. One day what happens, the person who was assisting him, another ashramite, he did something which was not liked by this Swamiji. He got so wild, so angry, and he got up and slapped him. And Papa came to know about it. You know what he did? He came to this sannyasin's room, and all his puja tools, everything he wrapped up in a piece of cloth and threw it in the well. Am I right, Swamiji? This happened? Kasaragod, there. Because this in Murti, everything. And he said, this this elaborate, elongated puja is not going to do any good. First of all, you should learn to love people, sympathize with people, to be kind and compassionate. That is one thing. Secondly, you should have control over yourself. Your kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. These 6 ripus, 6 enemies, you should have control over. Then only this puja will have any impact. See, this is how, and no other man would be, no other Swami or even head of the mutt would do like that. Because this needs that vision and knowledge. That gives him tremendous strength and courage to take such an action against this person who slapped that devotee of the ashram. So, such boldness, who will have? He may advise, but this is a drastic step. Took all the puja metal and threw it in the well. See, only a jnani can do this. So in Vyavahar, also this is not that a jnani means he is sitting somewhere. See, once this vision of oneness encompasses one, inside and outside, then life is always what you call something, a happy moment. Every moment is happy. Somebody asked Papa, how is that you always are found so happy, so cheerful, jovial, humorous? Not a moment when there is tension grips you, nothing. He said, take this tablet, this capsule, and do the japa. That ultimately will lead you to that position. See, this is the power of this Ram Mantra. On Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. And in the Bhagavad Gita also, the last verse of the Gita, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishnaha, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhudihi, Dhruva Nidir Madhur Mama. So Bhagavan is called, that is Sanjaya says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, where there is Lord's presence, uninterrupted presence in one's heart. How to acquire this? Through japa, mantra. Uninterrupted presence of the Lord. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. So house him in our heart. Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha. It is not that once you get jnana and all that, you will always be in meditation. You will not meet any people. No. So Papa used to, the ashram, hundreds of people used to visit, and everybody in his presence would be so happy, because he used to, what should I say, he used to emanate happiness. He used to diffuse happiness, spread and disseminate happiness, joy. This is because his inside there was full of this joy and happiness, which came out of this vision of oneness. And it is not a theoretical vision. You learn some theory and then it may be true. It's not an intellectual exercise. See, anything, any idea, whether a dharmic idea, whatever it be, any good values, if it is only intellectually understood, yes, it will remain in the intellect. You can give lectures also. Based on that, intellectualization is possible, rationalization is possible. You can give lectures based on that, because it is a kind of theorizing. But the vision or the value comes to become the real value when you start living it. Is it not true? Only when we live that value, only when we live that vision, it becomes our own. It is not a theoretical. There should be, from what, of course, intellect should be there, We should understand the thing, understand the truth, and that understanding, that appreciation, that knowledge alone won't do. That is a theoretical knowledge. It should percolate into our heart. That percolation is what is very, very important. Normally what happens, we know so many things. In Mahabharata, Dhritarashtra says, and even Duryodhana also says, Jnanami dharma, nobody need to advise me. Jnanami dharmam, I know what is dharma. Then what's the problem? Why do you want this battle, this Mahabharata war? Jnanami dharma, I know, but nachame pravrittihi, I cannot bring it into action. Jnanami dharmam, nachame pravrittihi. So, you know what is adharma? Yes, jnanami adharmam. Nachame nivrittihi. I know what is adharma, but I can't wean myself away from it. Jnanami adharmam, nachame nivrittihi. I can't keep away from it. So, I am impelled by, I am compelled by my passion, my impulses, and carried away by that. So here, when this mantra is uttered, a mantra will have influence, your mind gets focused. It's not the mind, you know, how the mind will be influenced by the mantra. You know what is mind? What is mind? Our acharyas have defined mind as a flow of thoughts. Mind is a flow of thoughts. And is there some time when you don't have mind? Deep sleep, there is no mind. There is no mind. Is there any thought? I am not talking about a dream, you know. Dream state, there is mind, subtle mind operating. But in deep sleep state, there is no mind. Meaning, there is no thought. All thoughts are dismissed. The mind is stilled. So, if the mind can be brought to such a stillness through concentration on the japa, then you win the day, so to say. You win the day. Because it's all depending upon our focusing on the mantra. That's why mindful chanting, that's very important. Now, this mind, it's a flow of thoughts, we said. What kind of thoughts? It's called vijatiya vrittis. Now I think of this microphone, now about this watch, now book, and now different faces I am watching. So vijatiya vrittis. Vritti means thought. Vijatiya, different, a variety of thoughts are flowing. And when the thought flow, the current is very powerful, mind will be so agitated. It is your experience, you know. Everybody's experience. When the mind is agitated, we say, my mind is so much agitated. Why? Something is disturbing me. Somebody has some mischief, or somebody did something on me, so I feel disturbed. Meaning the thought flow is very fast. Early morning, after a good night's sleep, when we get up, mind is very quiet, calm. Is it not? Mind is very quiet. Why? The thought flow is reduced to the minimum when we wake up. Only minimum thoughts. Now, this principle can be applied when we chant. How the chanting operates, how it becomes effective. See, through chanting, what is actually happening is, what do we chant? Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Here, it's called Sajatiya Vritti. Now, Vijatiya Vritti, different thoughts. But we are trying to control our mind, bring some focusing on it by chanting Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Meaning, Ram's, you can do avalamba, you know. Alambanam can be taken, that is Sri Ram's photo, or the mantra itself you can focus on. But focusing should be there. Then, what happens? All Vijadiya Vrittis slowly thin out. they lose their power on you. And Sajadiya Vritti takes the prevalence. It is having its influence. Sajadiya Vritti, what is the Vritti? What is the thought about? Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So, see, here, there are accounts of crores and crores of Nama Japa mantra, Likhita Japa or uttered mantra. Counts are all too many. So, when we mechanically count, nothing much will happen. When mechanically we do japa, nothing much will happen. But mindfully, a conscious chanting, conscious muttering, consciously doing the mantra, then mind will start focusing. All Vijadiya Vrittis will slowly disappear, and Sajadiya Vritti, that Vritti is on the mantra. The mantra Vritti is Sajadiya Vritti. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. That mantra comes to have the upper hand. Other Vrittis will thin out, become weak. So over a period of time, this gains power in our mind. You will find the mantra is saving me, mantra is blessing me. Why? Because all the Vijatiya Vrittis, the thoughts that used to disturb me, those thoughts get converted, or what should I say, it is divinized. Why? How? Through the impact of this Sajadiya Vritti called Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Like this Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Sri Mahadevi Namaha, any mantras. But here we are mentioning this because this is ANANDASHRAM. So Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, that is the prime mantra here, which was given by our Guru, Papa Ramdas. So then, this is how the mind becomes focused, and the vision of oneness that comes to rule our mind. When this oneness is there, we experience great joy, great happiness, and when it becomes full and final, meaning the realization is so full and final, it is not for a temper. We may gain this, for short intervals. For short intervals. When good things happen, our mind is quiet, is it not? When we do good things, our mind is quiet. Like that. Similarly, when this mantra, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, when this mantra is uttered mindfully, not mechanically, continuously for a long period of time, naturally the mind will throw away all the Vijatiya Vrittis, all other unnecessary, unwanted thoughts, and only the peace will come to prevail in the mind. This is how we gain control over the mind. In the Bible it is the peace that passeth all understanding. This peace is not brought from outside, but this peace is already in us. So, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna should be, this peace in its fullness should be invoked in our heart. And then, Arjuna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha. And we should not, after, there are some people in the robe of a monk, and they say they are spiritual. But, I am not criticizing. In Shankaracharya's time itself it was there. Shankara says in the Bhajagovinda, mentions him, Udara Nimittam Bahukrita Veshaha. They will be wearing the sannyasin's cloth, but they will have no sadhana, nothing. Udara Nimittam. And in our country, not in Kerala, especially North India, if you have this robe, you don't have to worry about your food. You get into any house, you will get food. But in Kerala, that may not be experienced. And different experience will be there. So, this vision, when we come to own it up, and it should become our own. And for a short while, it may rule our mind. Afterwards, sometimes it can be back to square one. That is why here it is insisted that this mantra, this saving mantra, should be continuously. It is not necessary that only at a particular time, in a particular place, this should be challenged. In the beginning, all these things can be observed, but in due course, what will happen? This mantra chanting will become very natural to us, very natural to us. And when we are cooking in our kitchen, when we are working in the field, when we are working in our office, when we are dealing with the Vyavaharik world, the world of transaction, everywhere, what you call in Indian music, there is what you call that Shruti, in classical music, Shruti is there. Like this Shruti, this mantra will keep, remaining, staying in our mind. That will give us tremendous peace, not only peace, efficiency in work. That's why, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishnaha, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha. If you are able to invoke Lord Krishna in your heart, then Partha will be there around. Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, not an ordinary Partha, well equipped Partha. So, Lord has given us this body, the Indriyas, the Karmendriyas, Jnanendriyas, eyes, nose, all these Jnanendriyas, organs of knowledge and organs of action, our legs, our hand, everything. And see, we have to realize that these are capable of functioning because of the throbbing life in it. The life principle in it, if it ebbs out, the hand is dead, the body is dead, no sense organs are functioning. So this throbbing life in us, that is actually the life principle, that is actually God Himself. So God has made us work. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, if that God we are able to invoke consciously and install in our hearts, that Bhagavat Pratishtha should take place in our hearts. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, in which heart or in whose heart this Lord is installed, and yet in whose person hands, legs and all organs of action, sense organs, everything is in operation, everything is functioning well. What happened? Tatra Srihi Vijayo Bhutihi Dhruva Nitir Madhur Mama. There the success is sure. Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai. The success is there. The mantra promises us this. If you want, how do we understand? Ordinary people. Actually speaking, only a wise man, only a jnani can understand another jnani. This is one thing. Okay. At the highest level, we can't say so and so is a jnani, so and so is an ajnani, so and so is halfway through. We cannot make such judgments. That will be erroneous, fallacious judgments. Instead, we should not judge them. But Swami Chinmayananda just said, see, when you sit around a person, if you feel so peaceful, so happy, so joyous, irrespective of the situation, you may be feeling bodily situation. You may be feeling bodily pain also, but still, the understanding which he experiences, he spreads it around. So people who are about him, around him can say yes. But then another thing, our mind should also, it cannot receive anything. Therefore, our receptacle, our mind, our buddhi, this also should be properly. Purification of the mind. Was this knowledge of the fullness, was this knowledge of the fullness, knowledge of the oneness, he is happy, knowledge of the oneness, he is happy with himself. He doesn't want anything with himself. He doesn't want anything. Cemetery, crematorium, burial place, burial ground. Nobody would go there. We don't. In the night, everybody will be scared to go that side. So he thought it's a very safe place, and he settled down there. He had a little rice and a pot, and he was cooking. And that cremation ground used to be the dancing spot of Bhadragali. When it struck midnight, Bhadragali came with her cohorts, her dutas, other goddesses. From a distance, she spotted, and she told her sevikas, go there, some human being there, ask him to go away. They went there and asked Narayana to go away. Why should I go? See, now I am very tired. I am cooking something, I will eat and sleep here. No, this is Devi's dancing spot, dancing ground. And let her dance. I am not interested. There is vast ground here. I am not watching that side. No, but Devi, he said, sorry, I am not going to move. Let Devi come and dance here. I have no objection. She also shouldn't have any objection to my sitting here or sleeping here. After a lot of arguments, they returned to Devi, and she herself came. Devi herself came and told, look, this is my dance. Yes, Amma, please dance. I will not look that side. I will cook my food and sleep here. No, now, see, we have met. They have their rules, like law of the land in Bharat, in our country. They have their own rules. So, if a Devi meets a human being, the Devi has to give a boon, vara. That is their rule. Without giving vara, she cannot go back. She will be violating their rules. So she said, you ask for a boon. He said, I don't want anything. I am full and complete. I don't want anything. No, but you must ask for something. Then she insisted, persisted, and pestered him. Then finally he said, okay, Amma, now my life, can you increase it by 1 day? Oh, that is not possible. That is, Brahma has already fixed date. You are Devi, you can't. No, that I can't do. Okay. Can you reduce it by 1 day? Oh, that also I can't. Because, when we are born, it's all fixed. In between birth and death, we may become a scholar, we may become an illiterate fellow, a rich man or a poor man, or a good person or a vicious person. All these things happen. But death should be there for the one who is born. So you can't increase a day, you can't reduce by a day, then what can you do? No, but you must ask something else. Okay, if you are so insistent, there was what you call that elephantiasis, that comes on the leg. On my left leg, this disease is there, please shift it to my right leg. Because you can't do anything, what I want you can't do. Meaning the point is, a jnani doesn't want anything. He doesn't have any desires. He is free from all desires. He is always full and complete. Purnoham. So this is the jnani's position. And Papa Ramdas ji was one like that. He had no worldly desires. Okay, ashram was there. Okay, what is once Chinmayananda ji said, see, you be after Lakshmi, you wink at her, you will be ruined. Lakshmi, you wink at, you will be ruined. She will take you for a ride. But you hold on to Narayana, then Lakshmi will follow you. See? If you want to live a happy life, hold on to Narayana. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Thank you very much for very closely listening to me, and I might have made some mistakes also, observations. Please forgive me. And I once again thank you all for giving me a patient hearing. And I won't forget once again to wish our Puja Swamiji Ayur Arogya Saukhyam. Was blessing. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om